quite impressed upon by a lot of my elders that if you want to contribute to society, if you want to be in decision making roles where there can be actual effective change taken, you should try for this. So I think that's what kind of motivated me to do this.
What sort of refinement you made to your strategy or approach that you were able to qualify prelims again in the 5th attempt then?
Doing your static, supplementing it with MCQ practice, iteratively making improvements. The way I like to think about prelims is 80% of the cutoff you cross happens through your static. 20% of the cutoff happens through the additional brownie points you score. How do you do that? By focusing on things like previous year patterns and themes. What type of questions is UPSC asking? How do they frame questions and answers? So typically what is the most likely answer based on previous year patterns? इन सब से आप बाकी 20% क्रॉस करते हो. Doing static in current affairs is like making a building. आप static जो है वो आपकी बिल्डिंग की फाउंडेशन है. आप उसके ऊपर फ्लोर्स बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, आप लेयरिंग कर रहे हैं विद करंट अफेयर्स. जब तक आप फाउंडेशन नहीं ले करोगे तो आप उस पर करंट अफेयर्स की स्टैकिंग कैसे करोगे? हम लोग इतना स्ट्रगल करते हैं कि यार आंसर राइटिंग कैसे करेंगे. You can't write answers till you read. You have to have read good things before you can write good things, and that comes from having a habit of reading the news. The thing that I feel is कि we think of making notes कि यार एक बार बनाएं ताकि कल को जब पढ़ने हो ना तो एकदम आसान हो जाएगा. Actually the real learning you're doing is when you are making the note itself, because तुम पहले कुछ read करोगे, प्रोसेस करोगे, फिर नोट बनाओगे. प्रोसेसिंग में तो तुम्हारी लर्निंग हो रही है ना. That is when your brain is being applied. Maybe I would give myself a little bit more grace for my failings in it if I had to do this all over again. I think कि जब हम वो repeated उस cycle में होता है ना, मतलब वो तो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है ना अगर मैं दोबारा भी start करूँ. I would be a little more graceful with myself even if I fail. I think हम लोग नहीं होते हैं. We beat up ourselves a lot and then that reflects in our confidence in subsequent cycles. Don't do that. It's okay.
Hello everyone and welcome to this special Topper Talk session of Vision IAS. Today we are joined by Divyanshi Kaura, who has secured All India rank 71 in UPSC CSE 2025. Divyanshi hails from Chandigarh and she has secured this rank in her 5th attempt. Congratulations on your remarkable achievement. So Divyanshi, first and foremost, can you tell us regarding your educational background?
So about my education background, I've done my schooling from Chandigarh. And after that, I've done my bachelor's in economics from Lady Shri Ram. Then I took a break, 2-year break basically, to try for UPSC CSE. Then I joined my master's at JNU, again in economics. So that's about it.
So when did you actually decide that you will be preparing for UPSC CSE and what motivated you for the same?
So I decided this in college. Like in second year of college, I decided, and I think I was like quite impressed upon by a lot of my elders that if you want to contribute to society, if you want to be in decision making roles where there can be actual effective change taken, you should try for this. So I think that's what kind of motivated me to do this.
Okay. So the benefit of society and nation, basically, to say that motivated you to start preparing for civil services.
Yes, I think definitely. I think every one of us, within us, we have a certain desire that we, if nothing else, we want to be beneficial to the world and the community that we live in, and you want to be able to give back. And if that becomes your work, then nothing like it, right?
Right. Good. Now coming to the most important segment of this particular session, knowing your preparation strategy and all those things. And as we know that this is a 3-stage examination and each stage requires different skill set and approach to clear that particular thing. So starting with the preliminary phase, that is the preliminary examination, which is considered as the most competitive stage of this particular examination. And I think you can be the one of the most suitable candidate to guide the students, aspiring students, for the preliminary stage, because you were able to qualify prelims in the first stage, and for the next 3 consecutive attempts you were not able to qualify the prelims examination, and then in the fifth attempt you were able to qualify the prelims examination. So I think you can tell what all do's and don'ts are there for the preliminary examination. So in a nutshell, if you can briefly explain to us, like, what was your prelim strategy, or if I had to rephrase that, what sort of refinement you made to your strategy or approach that you were able to qualify prelims again in the fifth attempt then?
Okay. So I think the biggest refinement that I was able to do was to add MCQ practice to this. I think the problem with me in my 2023-24 attempt was that I did not practice enough MCQs. I was, reading my static books, and perhaps I felt I've cleared it once, I wouldn't be able to clear it again, and so on. So I would do my static very well, but I wouldn't practice it enough through MCQs, and I did not, I think, analyze the PYQs also that much, and I think that was something that I shouldn't have done. In this attempt, that was something that I made a change in. I do a topic, let's say that I'm doing polity, I've done one topic, I have done territory of India. I've spent 1 hour, 1.5 hours studying it. I then pick up some 100 questions just on that to basically test myself on all the nitty-gritties of that particular topic. From there, I hope bilingual's okay.
Perfectly fine.
मुझे समझ आ जाता है कि अच्छा इसमें मेरी इस चीज़ में मुझे आता है, इसमें नहीं आता है. जो यहाँ से मैंने सीखा या अपनी गलती करेक्ट की, उसको मैंने इटरेटिवली फिर ठीक कर लिया, उसको समझ लिया. इससे मेरी इन सारे स्टैटिक टॉपिक्स में जो एक्यूरेसी होती थी वो इम्प्रूव हो जाती थी. सो दैट वाज वन पार्ट. यू डू अ टॉपिक, this is particularly for static type topics. Of course, certain subjects which are dynamic in nature, you can't necessarily do this in toto, but for things like history, geography, polity, economics and basics of economics, definitely you can do this. So that was one important aspect. Doing your static, supplementing it with MCQ practice, iteratively making improvements. Second thing, the way I like to think about prelims is 80% of the cutoff you cross happens through your static. 20% of the cutoff happens through the additional brownie points you score. How do you do that? By focusing on things like previous year patterns and themes. What type of questions is UPSC asking? How do they frame questions and answers? So typically, what is the most likely answer based on previous year patterns? इन सब से आप बाकी 20% क्रॉस करते हो. तो इसमें मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होती थी? इसमें स्ट्रैटेजी ये होती थी कि मेरे जो अपने करंट अफेयर्स हैं उनको मैंने अपना तो करना ही है. लाइक मैं न्यूज़पेपर रीड कर रही हूँ, कोई अगर मैंने कोई कंपाइलेशन, आई वॉज नॉट लाइक द बिगेस्ट फैन ऑफ मंथली मैगजीन्स, सो आई वुड जस्ट डू मे बी लाइक अ कंपाइलेशन, वट एवर वर्क फॉर मी, just to consolidate it. Okay, matlab that doesn't eliminate news reading. You have to read the news, and then for its summarization, you do your compilation. So that I would do. Analyzing the PYQs, catching the themes and the patterns. If you just do, you spend 3-4 days yourself, please don't rely only on, the already analysis that someone else has done in the market. Just sit and do it for yourself. What type of themes are they asking? For example, we know that some topics like critical minerals, tropical crops, world maps, geography of global regions, physical geography, places in conflict. We knew since last 3-4 years that UPSC was repeatedly asking this. So based on that, I would catch some themes and keep like a ready reckoner with myself to use. कि देखो काम आ गया तो आ गया, नहीं आ गया तो मेरा कोई नुकसान थोड़ी जा रहा है. But let's say that if I've prepared 20 such themes, out of those 20, even if I'm able to use 4 or 5, in my books that's a win personally, because that means कि another 5 questions I have been able to do to clear that cutoff and get closer to it. So these things. Second, I would not like to call these as shortcuts or tricks, but just getting a knack for how questions are framed. There's sort of a philosophical rule. It's called Occam's razor that I believe in. Ki the most obvious, answer is generally the right one. Not always, but generally. Generally, it is the right one. So, just probabilistically speaking, you are probably gonna be better by following that rule. इसका एक एग्जांपल अगर मैं दूं, कोई साइंटिफिक एप्लीकेशंस होती हैं, हमें पता है कि काफी ब्रॉड होती हैं यूजुअली. यू आर सेफर बाय प्लेइंग द ऑप्शन all applications unless something is just so outlandish कि यार ये तो एप्लीकेशन हो ही नहीं सकती, कोई दूर दूर का इनमें ताल्लुक नहीं है, then you can safely rule it out. So I think these couple of different things I think altogether helped me to be able to do prelims well this time.
Nicely explained. You have explained, in fact, that in a great detailed manner, I would say.
Yeah.
Good. As you mentioned, balancing both static and current part. So
Mm.
many of the candidates might be having confusion in that as well. Like when it comes to the prelims examination, and even for that matter, specific subjects like economics and environment. Candidates have this sort of confusion that they need to rely more on the current affairs part or the static part. So we need to focus more when it comes to this sort of subjects on current affairs, or there should be a proper balance in between them.
I think that that's slightly distorted way of thinking about it. It's not about कि किसको ज़्यादा किसको कम देना है, दोनों को देना है. Why? Doing static and current affairs is like making a building. आप static जो है वो आपकी building की foundation है. आप उसके ऊपर फ्लोर्स बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, आप लेयरिंग कर रहे हैं विद करंट अफेयर्स. जब तक आप फाउंडेशन नहीं ले करोगे तो आप उस पर करंट अफेयर्स की स्टैकिंग कैसे करोगे? So the first thing that you have to make sure is that your static by itself is very well done. For example, for environment, you understand the concepts, you understand all of the different, terminologies, keywords, etc. At least most things that, or at least everything that has been asked in the last 5 years. I think that's not an unreasonable ask. उतना आपको अच्छे से सारा कुछ समझ में आता है. On top of that, then you layer your current affairs and that will become easier. Why? Because for example, you're reading a concept in news, okay, related to environment. Let's say you're reading about some new flex fuel vehicle technology. If you already have the static understanding of these different types of technologies, you're not going to have to spend 20 minutes to read about flex fuel vehicles. You'll automatically understand in 5-6 minutes at best what it is. So don't, I mean, that's not at least how I like to think about it. Maybe someone else may think of it differently, but मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि पहले static को हमेशा build करो, उसके ऊपर आप current affairs को layer करो, वो बहुत easy हो जाएगा फिर.
Okay, good. Now coming to this current affairs preparation when it comes to the preliminary phase of this examination. So what was your approach to prepare the current affairs? Like you mentioned that you used to follow newspaper regularly and you were not that much into reading the monthly compilations as such, right? So can you dwell a little bit in a detailed manner? Like what was your approach to prepare the current affairs?
See, I will also say this, that as a candidate, I am someone who was reading the newspapers since 4-5 years. So I knew that I have a lot of passive understanding, knowledge of things, and it made it easier for me. So, when I would read the newspapers, I was able to understand and absorb the language much easily, perhaps in my last attempt, than I would compare in my first attempt when I was just reading them. Having said that, I personally feel that it's absolutely essential to read the newspaper yourself and not just rely on a compilation. क्यों? क्योंकि newspaper reading से ना passive knowledge बनती है, रीडिंग और राइटिंग स्किल बनती है. हम लोग इतना स्ट्रगल करते हैं कि यार आंसर राइटिंग कैसे करेंगे. You can't write answers till you read. You have to have read good things before you can write good things, and that comes from having a habit of reading the news. The second problem I feel is इतना सिलेबस होता है, इतना वास्ट होता है. देखो, आपका दिमाग कोई कंप्यूटर तो है नहीं कि फाइल एंड फोल्डर की तरह सेव करके स्टोर कर लिया. वो कॉन्टेक्सचुअली चीज़ों को समझता है, ठीक है. उसके लिए अगर आप 2 दिन बैठ के 10 घंटे लगा के एक मैगजीन पढ़ लेंगे, वो आज आपके दिमाग में जाएगा और अगले दिन सब उतर जाएगा. Compared to that, instead of such a sporadic effort, आप रोज you spend 40 minutes just to read and keep up with what is happening in the world. It'll actually stay there longer because you'll repeatedly read the same thing every day. You'll read all the different dimensions of it. So that's why I personally feel newspapers are better. You can supplement it with a magazine. Don't think of them as a choice between them. And then it will also become easier for you to read the magazine because you've already been staying in touch with the news for the whole month or whatever period, frequency that you read it at.
Right.
As far as the aspect of making notes is concerned, so what I did was, in my last attempt was, prelims के लिए मैं तो रखती थी एक physical file मतलब A4 शीट्स ले ली और एक वो नॉर्मल जो रिंग फाइल होती है वो ले ली, उसके अंदर पहले से ही हर A4 शीट पे ऊपर मैंने थीम लिख दी कि अच्छा ये इकोनॉमी है, ये बैंकिंग है, विद इन अगर ये इन्वायरमेंट है, विद इन इन्वायरमेंट ये ग्लोबल बॉडीज और कॉन्फ्रेंसेज है, यू गेट द जिस्ट राइट ना. तो आई हैड ऑलरेडी स्लॉटेड आउट दी शीट्स जो मैं न्यूज़ में पढ़ रही थी या मैं उसके बाद कोई मैगजीन में पढ़ती थी, मे बी लाइक अ 3-month compilation, 6-month compilation. I would just add like a one-liner there. And I will also tell you one more thing. I'm not necessarily going back to that document, you know, on a certain day and being like, chalo chalo sab. But I'm looking at it every single day because I am updating it and almost every single day. Because of that, मेरी repeatedly रोज वो कुछ पढ़ के रिविजन हो रही है, उससे भी काफ़ी बेनिफिट होता है. आई थिंक the thing that I feel is कि we think of making notes कि यार एक बार बनाएं ताकि कल को जब पढ़ने हो ना तो एकदम आसान हो जाएगा. Actually the real learning you're doing is when you are making the note itself, because तुम पहले कुछ रीड करोगे, प्रोसेस करोगे, फिर नोट बनाओगे. प्रोसेसिंग में तो तुम्हारी लर्निंग हो रही है ना, that is when your brain is being applied. तो I think that's my approach कि write things but first understand them and then use that writing as just keeping a track. Process.
Right. Rightly pointed out. So that's why, despite of providing so many resources when it comes to the current affairs preparation, we always advise students to read and follow the newspaper regularly, because there is no alternative of that.
There's no alternative.
Exactly. So you also mentioned about notes making. So would also like to know, like, did you also made notes for the static part as well, or did you just marked on the test books only?
It varied across subjects. See, in some subjects where the book itself is, you know, like each and every line is important, you better not miss it. For example, geography class 11 NCERT. Then I would actually revise again from the book itself. In fact, if I would make a note, I would do this thing that I've taken an A4 sheet, I've just, whatever I have understood in that chapter, I would make a quick scribble. And sometimes I would just discard it. क्योंकि वो मेरे काम का नहीं है, वो किताब मुझे फिर भी बार बार खोलनी पड़ेगी. तो for things like that, yes, I would like just simply read from the book itself. But for some particular themes where I felt that I needed to have my own notes, for example, economy mains, I would make my own notes. Where I would track the themes from the PYQs. जैसे economy में मैं क्या करती थी कि मैंने एक टॉपिक पकड़ा, सब थीम फ्रॉम द सिलेबस इटसेल्फ, उसको हेडिंग दी, जो पिछले PYQs हैं उनको फर्स्ट पेज पे सबसे पहले लिखा. फिर मैंने बेस्ड ऑन द PYQ की कौन सी डायमेंशंस पूछी हैं, कोई कॉज पूछे हैं, कोई रिलेटेड टॉपिक पूछा है, कोई कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस पूछे हैं, कोई सोल्यूशंस पूछे हैं. जैसे एग्रीकल्चर कर रहे हैं, अगर एग्रीकल्चर में आपको टेक्नोलॉजीज में कोई सोल्यूशंस पूछे हैं तो मैंने उसको उस थीम्स को नोट डाउन कर लिया PYQ से, सो दैट व्हेन आई मेक माई नोटिंग तो मैं उसी के अकॉर्डिंग टू नोट्स बनाऊँ. तो दैट वाज माय अप्रोच टू दैट. यू हैव टू कस्टमाइज अ लिटिल. जहाँ प्रीलिम्स में कुछ ऐसी किताबें हैं जिनकी तो एक एक लाइन इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो आप मिस नहीं कर सकते हो. तो यू आर बेटर ऑफ referring to the book again and again, I would say. But for some things, like maybe for at least mains, you need your own notes.
Right. You have highlighted the importance or significance of PYQ analysis multiple times when it comes to the prelims examination. I hope that will help candidates now to focus on PYQ analysis. And one more point that you highlighted was it will help only when the candidate analyze those on their own. Why is it necessary?
See, I would say ki because the syllabus is so vast. See, I can spend 2 hours in a class and do this analysis for you. You will remember it today, you will go home and you will start forgetting it. But when you do it yourself, you will be doing that dissection yourself. You will not forget it. When you will be reading the news, it will come back to you. अच्छा यार ये मैंने पढ़ा था, this was, you know, a repeated theme. So I better like do it. This passive knowledge of the PYQs has to be in your mind 24/7, 365 days a year when you are studying. So it is always better to do it yourself. You can take aid. You can take the aid of, you know, your teachers, your mentors, everyone. But you still have to do it yourself.
Right. So Divyanshi, revision is another aspect which is highly relevant when it comes to the prelims preparation, specifically in the last few days of the prelims phase. So what was your revision strategy?
So I'll tell you what I did in the last 2 months, I I had done some tests earlier, and I had basically seen my performance in them. I just took those same tests again. Like, I would sit in the morning, I would solve a test, I would sit with the solutions, and then I would just take 3-4 hours, I mean, depending on the length of the test, and then read through the solutions and revise through that. Because I've already read my notes, my books multiple times. Again, this worked for me. May not necessarily work for someone else, but this is what worked for me. That is something that I did for like maybe 20 days, 25 days. I did that, and through that process itself, in a sort of very quick manner, I was able to revise a lot of things. And then after that, I went back to my notes, like short notes, crisp notes, for those mega revisions. In one day you're revising an entire topic or an entire subject, things like that. So that's how I did it, and I think that it was helpful to me.
So not just attempting the mock, but
Analyzing.
analyzing the solutions are equally important.
Read the solutions, just revise through the solutions. Even if you've done the question correctly, if let's say there's a question and there is a solution, there is a 200-word solution, just read the entire solution.
Right.
You revise everything just from that. Even the wrong options they would have analyzed in the solution. So why not just do that and revise everything pretty much through that.
Right. Now moving on to the next stage, that is the main stage of the examination, which we can consider consists of a lion's share when it comes to the marks that would be counted for the merit, deciding the final merit. So eventually when it comes to the syllabus of the mains examination, it has been provided in quite detailed manner by UPSC. So what do you think, that is it, or to what extent it is important to analyze the main syllabus when it comes to preparing for the mains examination, and how does that help?
I think it's the very first thing that you should do even before you start studying for the exam. Like, study the exam itself before you study for the exam is how I like to put it. कि आप सबसे पहले UPSC की नोटिफिकेशन खोलिए, उसमें सारे सिलेबस का हर एक थीम को डाइसेक्ट कीजिए और समझिए कि अच्छा ये पूछते हैं. Why? It will help you link back to what you're reading in news. It will help you connect the questions every year in the paper to it. And it will be like, I think it's the most important journey कि पूछ क्या रहे हैं, चाहते क्या है. इसका रीज़न ये भी है कि UPSC का अगर हम एग्ज़ाम स्ट्रक्चर देखें, इट्स नॉट लाइक अ स्कूल एग्ज़ाम. देखो, स्कूल में हमें क्या आदत होती है कि एक फिक्स सिलेबस है, हमारे को क्वेश्चंस दे दिए गए हैं और बस हमें उसको जाके रिगर्जिटेट कर देना जो हमने किताब में पढ़ा है. UPSC is not like that. It is not it's not supposed to be a vomited answer. It's supposed to be a relevant answer, and that topic or that question itself could be from any contemporary event that is related to the syllabus. So again, treating the syllabus as the basics, on top of which you analyze questions and news and contemporary events to finally give an answer. The way I would like to think of it is that, the job that you're applying for, that of a bureaucrat. A bureaucrat is supposed to be a generalist who on a general level understands everything and is able to connect various aspects and things. That only happens when you don't operate in silos. वो तभी होगा जब आप सिलेबस के डिफरेंट थीम्स के अक्रॉस इंटरकनेक्शंस बना पाएंगे कि पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम्स कैसे इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम से कनेक्ट होते हैं, कैसे एक कंट्री की ज्योग्राफी उनके इकोनॉमिक और पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम्स को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकती है, कैसे उनकी हिस्ट्री उनकी करंट पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकती है. जब आप ये सारे इंटरकनेक्शंस ड्रॉ करने शुरू करेंगे सिलेबस को समझ के, तभी आई थिंक इट स्टार्ट्स क्लिकिंग फॉर यू.
So having interdisciplinary approach is very much required in this examination, specifically
absolutely,
in mains.
Absolutely.
Right.
You have to give an intelligent, relevant answer if someone asked you a question in 7 minutes. That's how you should think about every question, is at least what I feel.
Right. So coming to the most important part of the mains examination, that is answer writing practice. So when and how did you started practicing answer writing? So
I started practicing answers in what I would like to call phase 1 of preparing examination, that is of the previous year, July to December. कि आपके पास 5-6 महीने का टाइम है जिसके अंदर यू आर नॉट एक्सक्लूसिवली स्टडिंग फॉर प्रीलिम्स, आप अपनी किताबें पढ़ रहे हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट स्ट्रॉन्ग कर रहे हैं, इस टाइम पे आपको आंसर राइटिंग करनी चाहिए. आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ इनर्शिया पर्सनली, लाइक मैं बहुत काम चोरी करती थी आंसर्स लिखने में. आई एम श्योर others, I hope others face the same problem and I'm not alone in this. So I would just set myself like a fixed target that I have to do about 10 questions each week. That this is a realistic target for me. Okay, I can do 10 questions each week and I would try and stick to that. That was my goal. Second, with answer writing, it is actually about quantity than quality. Initially, जितने ज़्यादा आप आंसर्स लिखेंगे ना शुरू में, उतने ज़्यादा आपकी स्किल बनेगी, आपका डर खत्म होएगा आंसर्स लिखने से, और आप अच्छे आंसर्स धीरे धीरे लिखने शुरू कर पाओगे. That's personally what I feel. So if you are someone who is worried about answer writing, don't think about, I have to write a good intro, conclusion, I have to write this many points. Just none of those things. Just simply think that I have to write an answer. Write 5 answers every day for 2 weeks. And you will automatically feel a difference in your confidence because you'll stop feeling scared when you look at a question.
Right,
So,
right.
I think that's something, and you start with that, and then when you come to the mains, I think during those 3 months you have to be writing answers every single day. Try to write 4 to 5 answers every single day, and if you feel that that's not adequate for you, gradually increase it up. Let's say you start the first week with 3 answers each day, then you scale it up to 4, then you scale up to 5, and so on, so that you're at a level where you feel very comfortable with it.
Good, good. So, what according to you is the importance or relevance of test series, and how one should utilize the particular test series for their mains preparation? I mean to say, the feedback, the evaluation that they might be getting.
So I think the point of test series, first of all, is getting you to practice writing, most importantly. Second is that मैंने तो आंसर लिख दिया है, how does the reader on the other end perceive the answer? उस चीज़ को समझना और वो फीडबैक लेना. Okay, your mentor or whoever is checking your answer can at least guide you that in these things you can make improvements. Maybe you can write a better introduction, write a better conclusion. Like, for example, I remember that when I started, I was a little bit worried about कि मेरे introductions जो हैं, मुझे वो आते ही नहीं, strike ही नहीं करते हैं, because I am trying to overthink introductions. So one of my mentors, basically she told me that you forget about writing a good introduction. Everyone who writes an introduction will get half a mark. If someone's written an exceptionally well introduction, they'll at max get 1 mark. So in the overall scheme of things, what matters is writing an introduction more than writing a good introduction. And that helped me get over that fear, और वो जो inertia होता है ना, वो जो 30 सेकंड तुम फ्रीज हो जाते हो कि मैं लिखूं क्या इंट्रोडक्शन में. चाहे सिंपल से सिंपल, जेनेरिक से जेनेरिक इंट्रोडक्शन से स्टार्ट करो, बट स्टार्ट करो और कुछ लिख दो. उसके बाद उसमें आपका मेंटर आपको हेल्प कर सकते कि अच्छा इसमें आप ये भी डाल सकते थे इंट्रोडक्शन में, ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट आप ऐड कर सकते थे. तो इन दैट सेंस दैट फीडबैक, इट्स एन इटरेटिव प्रोसेस. एक बार किया, उसके अंदर हमने बग्स देखे, बग्स को फिक्स किया, फिर दूसरी बार, फिर तीसरी बार, फिर चौथी बार. हमेशा उस सेंस में देखना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से कि बग्स फिक्स.
Right. So eventually, though one has to start when one starts answer writing practice with the basic sort of answers and all those things just to keep going. But after a certain point of time, there is a need of content enrichment, answer
Yes.
enrichment, that is incorporation of data, diagram, facts, and all those things.
Yes.
So how you have done that sort of content enrichment? Have you taken help of any toppers copies or something like that? What have worked
So
for you?
I did remember that I did see a few topper copies initially on, and I just tried to catch some innovative things that I found here and there. For example, I saw that people would sort of make like a sun diagram for writing pointers. So if I was able to incorporate that, I would do that. I saw that people would make a box around their headings and make headings exactly from the question itself. जो क्वेश्चन की लैंग्वेज है उसी को उठा के आपने हेडिंग बनाई है, ताकि एग्जामिनर को ये ना, मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली लिंक दिख जाए बिटवीन योर आंसर एंड द क्वेश्चन. तो आई वुड टेक टिप्स लाइक दिस फ्रॉम देम. एंड फाइनली आई थिंक एग्जाम्पल्स. I think that since the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure this has become very important in the UPSC ecosystem, that you have to add a lot of examples to illustrate your point. So that's something I tried to do as much as I could. I would have my own sort of example banks कि मतलब मैंने Google document बना लिया है, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, और उसके अंदर मैं टाइम टू टाइम अपने कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स पॉपुलेट करती रहती हूँ. एंड अब उसका अगेन फायदा क्या, क्योंकि मैं बार बार उस डॉक्यूमेंट को देख रही हूँ, अब उसमें 20 एग्जाम्पल लिखे हैं, उन 20 में से मैं 5-6 भी अगर यूज कर लेती हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे को आदत हो जाती है टू यूज दो सेम एग्जाम्पल्स इन माई आंसर्स इन आंसर राइटिंग एंड टेस्ट सीरीज प्रैक्टिस, तो फिर वो आई एम एबल टू रेप्लिकेट दोज इन द एग्जाम एज वेल.
Okay. You have scored a decent score this time in essay, for that matter. I would say above average score of this particular year. So can you throw a detailed light on that particular thing, like what sort of approach or strategy you used for the essay preparation and also choosing the essay topics in the actual examination?
Okay. So I got this advice from someone as well, and I sort of applied it. When you pick a topic, analyze the topic. Can you think of the various arguments on it? क्या आप इसके ऊपर बात कर सकते हैं, इसकी डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, नॉट एग्जाम्पल्स, आर्ग्यूमेंट्स. ये आई थिंक एसे में ना बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है कि हम लोग सोचते हैं कि एसेज आर द पॉइंट, एसे में एग्जाम्पल्स पॉइंट्स होते हैं. एसेज में एग्जाम्पल पॉइंट नहीं होते, इलस्ट्रेशन होती है, आर्ग्यूमेंट पॉइंट होता है. दैट इज द मेन क्रक्स. सेकेंड, कैन यू राइट अ बैलेंस्ड आंसर? बैलेंस कैसे? आप एक थीसिस को सपोर्ट करने के लिए आर्ग्यूमेंट्स दे रहे हैं, फिर आप उसका कुछ एंटी थीसिस भी समझ के एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, एंड फाइनली आप एक सिंथेसिस प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं विच रिफ्लेक्ट्स अ बैलेंस बिटवीन द थीसिस एंड द एंटी थीसिस. एंड देन थर्ड थिंग आ जाती है कि देखो ऐसे में ना अगर आप वो बार बार वही सेम जीएस टाइप एग्जाम्पल्स यूज करोगे, आई थिंक कि अब उसकी स्कोरिंग पोटेंशियल अब कम है. You need to come up with your, you need to actively be coming up with your own examples. So I think I saw this with the various other toppers, and I took that from them, that you need to make your own bank of examples, and which are relevant and specific just for essays. And that I did during the 3-month period between prelims and mains. मतलब मैं अगर अपना बताऊँ तो मैं YouTube पे देखती थी philosophy type channels की videos डिफरेंट, और उसमें मुझे अगर कोई कॉन्सेप्ट या कोई आइडिया इंटरेस्टिंग लग जाता था तो फिर मैं उसको उठा के अपने एग्जाम्पल बैंक में डाल लेती थी कि चलो यार ये कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, इसको हो सकता है किसी ऐसे में यूज़ किया जा सकता है. कोई एनेक्डोट हो गया, बुक, इवन इफ आई हैव नॉट रेड अ बुक बट आई हैव हर्ड अबाउट अ बुक, उसकी जो क्रक्स है, उसकी फिलोसॉफिकल बेंट है, उसके बारे में मैंने सुन लिया, तो आई वुड जस्ट राइट माई थॉट्स ऑन इट, मे बी आई कैन यूज इट. So that was my approach to essay, to picking a topic, to writing on the topic, and how I will structure the essay. So I think that worked for me personally.
Totally agree. Student needs to be a little bit more creative and innovative, specifically when UPSC is emphasizing on philosophical essays nowadays, right?
I think so. I mean, कहीं ना like वो होना चाहिए कि तुम्हें मज़ा आ रहा है ऐसे लिखने में, कि यार तुम्हारी कुछ अपनी पर्सनल जो आइडियाज़ एंड थॉट्स हैं वो फ्लो कर रही हैं, बट एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड और क्रिस्प मैनर में. मतलब वहां पे डायरी राइटिंग नहीं करनी है,
राइट.
ऐसे लिखना है, क्रिएटिव ऐसे लिखना है, बट इतना भी ज्यादा उसके स्ट्रक्चर में गड़बड़ नहीं करनी है कि वो एक रॉन्ग रिस्क आप ले लो ऑन योर पार्ट. तो स्टिक टू द स्ट्रक्चर विच इज आई थिंक कॉमन नाउ एवरीवेयर, विच इज यूज्ड, बट विद इन दैट स्ट्रक्चर try to bring some own flair and innovation and creativity.
Right. Now coming to the last phase of the examination, that is the personality test or interview, which specifically for this year can be considered as rank decider, considering the scores that candidate have scored this year particular, right? So what was your strategy for preparation of personality test, attempting the mocks and preparing the DAF and all those things?
So I think that when it came to preparing the DAF, one thing is you should mention things that you're absolutely like sure about, and that absolutely you know that you can fully back. This particularly when people fill in their achievements, their hobbies and things like that. If someone asks you a question, what were your learnings from it, what were your experience with this particular thing that you did, then you should have a very good idea. Like, don't write anything just for the sake of writing it, or to make your DAF look flowery or bigger and better. Don't try to do resume padding in a DAF, okay, because you will be sort of asked questions there. Second thing I would say is, I think step into that room with as free a mind as possible. From my experience, I felt that they were trying to get the best out of you. They are not, I mean, I know, of course, this is not a universal experience necessarily. It's a subjective experience. वो वहाँ पे बैठे हैं in order to assess you as the person you are, not to ask you viva questions and then give you a score on a viva. So they will typically ask you questions जहाँ पे आपके strengths होंगे based off of your DAP, and they'll give you ample opportunity to showcase that strength. Take those opportunities. जहाँ पे तुम्हें लगता है कि you can give a very interesting, good answer, जो चीज़ तुम्हें आती है, just seize that opportunity. Take a second, structure your answer, but then do that well. And I think the next thing is link what you read in like your static, your degree, whatever it is, with the world around you. They don't want a reader, they don't want an academician, they want someone जो knowledge और practicality के बीच का gap को bridge कर सके. उस चीज़ को आपको personality test में मुझे ऐसा लगता है आप जितना showcase करोगे, I think that makes you score higher. So I think that's what I feel about the personality test.
Rightly pointed out. The board actually does appreciate the fact like how well a candidate is able to apply his or her knowledge to the questions that have been asked or multiple case studies that have been put forward, right?
Yes.
Good. So this has been a long journey for you, right?
Yes.
Of 5 or 6 years or so, right?
Yes.
So how have you kept yourself motivated? As there are so many ups and downs during this preparation journey for other candidates as well. So what has worked for you to have this sort of motivation and discipline in your preparation?
To just focus on the process, not on the outcome. Okay, that I am focusing on this thing जो मुझे अगले दिन करना है, इस महीने करना है. That's it. Second thing, on ये तो होगी the philosophical sense कि you made yourself into a stoic and you are just अपने कर्म पे आप फोकस कर रहे हैं. दूसरी चीज़ आ जाती है, प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट भी ज़रूरी है. प्लीज़ अपना बैकअप के बारे में सोचिए. I did my master's degree and I tried to be active and present in it and not just sort of let it go as it is, because मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि at the end of the day it's a very big competition. We know that the success rate, what those numbers are, the success rates and things like that, we know कि it's very important to have a plan B. I think I was relaxed because I knew I have a plan B. That if this doesn't work out, I know in what other way can I also, be good and do the things that I want to do. So I think that's very important. Have a plan B in your hand. ऐसा कभी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप बस इसमें बिना कोई सोचे समझे. It should be a calculated risk. You need to, जिस तरह like हम I think UPSC के में बात करते हैं, जैसे for example disaster management में, there needs to be risk management and risk perception. वो आपको यहाँ पे भी होना चाहिए. Have risk perception. What are the success rates? What are my chances of getting through all of those things? And then manage that risk by having a plan B for yourself.
Okay, good. Just a sort of assumption, and this can be the last question of this session.
Yeah.
It's if you have to start your preparation again, what all things would you do differently this time?
I would first actually start the entire journey by analyzing the exam and the PYQs and all of those things, which I don't think that I did early on. And I think that maybe I would give myself a little bit more grace for my failings in it if I had to do this all over again. I think कि जब हम वो repeated उस cycle में होता है ना, मतलब वो तो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है ना, अगर मैं दोबारा भी start करूँ. I would be a little more graceful with myself, even if I fail. I think हम लोग नहीं होते हैं. We beat up ourselves a lot, and then that reflects in our confidence in subsequent cycles. Don't do that. It's okay.
Right, right.
Failing in an exam is not a personal failing. Tell yourself every single day that I am capable and I can do very well. You know?
Right.
So I think maybe that's what I would do differently.
Nice, nice. Any final message that you would like to give the candidates who will be appearing in this upcoming prelims examination?
Just go with a relaxed mind. I know that's easier said than done, but um, don't think of the outcome whatsoever. It when you step into that hall, that is irrelevant for you. It's a game. Go in that moment. Think of it as a game. Play the game as best as you can. So that's all I would say.
Rightly pointed out. Having calm and composed personality is very important at all the stages of the
At all the
examination, I will
stages.
say. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Divanshi, from joining us today. Okay, I hope the candidates will benefit immensely from her journey, the insights that she has shared. Okay, congratulations once
Thank
again,
you. Thank you
and
so much.
we hope that you will do good as the upcoming bureaucrat, future civil servant. As such, okay. Best wishes from our side.
Thank you so much. Thank you.